足切れるか。お姉様。動きが全く読めなかった。なんて技だ。俺が強いかもだって。とんだ思い上がりだ。所詮俺は F ランクの素人。圧倒的な力量さ。これが二頭騎士。
All right, my friends, the Ossan Newbie Adventurer episode number 1. And this episode, this is how you do an episode 1. This is how you say, hey, here's what we're about. Here's what we're going to show you this season. What you think? And it's up to me and you as the viewer to go like, yeah, or nah, no thank you. You know, but I really think that they nailed number 1. Like, from all of the... From just the premise of the show, okay? You have a dude who was a registration guild, you know, just like a receptionist for 14 years, and suddenly, whatever, we don't know exactly why, but something flipped at him. He was like, I want to be an adventurer. I have this innate something in me. I want to be an adventurer. And he somehow gets recruited, gets found, gets acquainted with the 𝐒𝐻𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐿 adventures, which are like, you know, super SS, super double S, triple S rank adventures. And they put him through 2 years of hell. Getting trained by the world's best is different than getting trained by anybody else. So much so that it skewed his entire reality. So homeboy comes in and he does the F rank test. He does the F rank to D rank test or whatever. And he's OP everywhere, right? Like, again, his views on everything is so skewed. He's looking at the other registration people. He's watching the people do their tests. He's seeing some little noble kid do a little pew pew, little fireball as he's freaking had to run away from a fire that looked like the sun. Like, his whole thing is skewed, and he ends up showing out and making some little kid, you know, this Duke's kid, embarrassed by how much he showed out. I mean, like, dude, he beat up some slime thing. He used like some level 1 stuff to block level 5 stuff. Like, just, he's completely just made a joke out of this test by just not understanding how much more powerful he is than virtually anybody else, like, in this guild. And by doing so, he ends up getting the ire of this kid. Kid comes and cries. His sister comes after him. Apparently, she's B rank. He has a whole test lined up. She challenges him, she grabs a glove, right? She grabs a glove. She's like, ugh. She throws a glove at him, and he catches it, and that they do like a duel. He wins the duel easily. He gains a slave for life. Now, some of the funny moments, the kid was calling him a 40-something-year-old dude. He's like, I'm only 32. And is he all of us? For all my over 30 folks out there, this is us. This guy is us. Less buff on my side. I mean, I got, you know, not any of that muscles. But like, he's all of us. You know what I mean? He's the guy that's like, you know what? I'm just gonna suddenly at 4 I'm gonna wake up and be like, ooh, you know what? I'm gonna go do this thing that I should have done 20 years ago. That's him. So he makes fun of him. You know, those are like some really funny moments. The girl who challenges him, the Duke's kid's daughter, like he even he talks about like so he's evaluating her, right? Because she's B rank and she's such a letdown. She's such a wet fart. He's having a Bronny James moment. If you get that, you get that. He's like, yo, how'd you even get into nice nepotism? You know, I was like, oh snap, Bronny, they're coming for you, bro. I was like, yo, that moment hit for me so hard. And then he's just looking at her, and he's just like, yo, she moves so slow. And then she loses a fight. You know, he wins because she gives up. And she's busted out all her super fast moves. And he talks so much shit at the end. He, like, the fastest that she's been all day is when she was running away from him. So just moment after moment, I think, like, this episode 1 has hit a lot of comedic moments that have hit for me. Like, I've like, you know, I've had those kinds of moments. And I was like, yeah. So I'm vibing with it from that. The premise alone, I'm vibing with, right? This dude who was behind the counter forever, you know, catering to adventurers, and then suddenly getting the itch to go and, you know, go from receptionist to adventurer is a big one. I like that. I like that premise, and I think that's a pretty cool premise. That does make me think a little bit of like how he has so little, like if he worked directly as a receptionist with adventures for so long, why does it seem he's so ignorant of adventure skill levels at different ranks? That I don't quite understand that. You know, maybe he wasn't a receptionist at an adventurers guild. Maybe he was a receptionist like for the government or something. It doesn't really say that though. Let me just make sure I read through this, because that's the one kind of thing is like, oh, I get he's super ignorant about people's levels and people's what they can and can't do compared to the 𝐒𝐻𝐿𝐴 people that he was with. Let's see. So this says Rick Gladiator, who became an adventurer, was over 30 years old, had the combat power of S rank, the highest rank. Doesn't really tell us. It's common knowledge. Doesn't really tell us. Let me go see if I can find this somewhere else, because like I'm trying to make sure that like I don't want to talk smack if they've said that in the description, the synopsis, right? It doesn't really say anything. It just says that he was a receptionist. So I guess we don't really know for what, but that'd be my only like nitpick or tidbit is like his you can't really call it anything else. I can't even be like not an ass about it. It's just his ignorance of the adventure world tells me that maybe he wasn't a receptionist for a guild, and maybe that's why when he met the guild girl here, say that 3 times fast. Maybe that's why he was like, oh, I remember seeing you in Receptionist Academy or whatever, and you're here now. So maybe that tells me maybe he wasn't a receptionist for like anything that had to do with adventures. That's my guess. I don't know. But anyways, I like the premise though, that he basically was he went from office dude to stud. I like that quite a bit. I like that he was with the I want to know more about how he landed with the 𝐒𝐿𝐴 people. They seem like they're going to come into play. And just the comedy overall, it's just hitting for me. I don't think he's gonna write any again. So far, episode 1, I don't know if we stick with it all season long. It could turn into hot trash, but all those things so far, like my entertainment, I was 8 out of 10 entertained. If I put on my reviewer cap, I would say there's probably like a 6 out of 10 anime. It's not writing home any checks for like being best written. It's probably not gonna win any awards for anything. It might end up being number 15 out of 10 on a list of like best anime of the season. But so far, the episode 1 had enough that's like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Like I think this is fun enough, and fun enough is pretty good. So I think I had a good episode 1. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is going to be a divisive anime among the mid anime of the season. This is going to be one that you vibed with. You're like, oh yeah, I laughed too. I'm vibing with it. Or you're on the opposite side of like, what the hell did I just watch? What is this trash? What is this? I don't think any of these trash, but what is this junk food anime? Like, this is just not for me. This is just like super, like, if mid had mid, you know what I mean? And I get, if whatever feelings that you have, they're genuine. And, let me know about them in the comments down below. But I'm feeling it. I like it so far. I want to know what ends up happening. Again, like I said, this could be one of those ones that in 2 or 3 episodes, I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, I'm done with this. And it could be one of those ones where it's like, it just keeps this level, it keeps episode 1 energy all season long. And I think I'd be down for that, It's just silly and laughs and yeah. So those are my thoughts. Episode 1. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Leave me a like before you guys dip out. It definitely help me out. Share this out with more YouTube peoples. And I'll see you guys next week for episode number 2. All right. Peace out, my friends.